Hi you guys, I'm Leanne and I'll be your instructor for your lesson today. We're really excited about today's lesson and we think you're going to love it. As always, make sure that you guys are working on the mat that's provided in the box when you're working on your table. Make sure that you put your name on your project legibly, because there's going to be a lot of you guys coming in and bringing stuff to us, so we want to make sure that we know whose is whose. And lastly, make sure that you clean up really well after each lesson. A bucket of water and a sponge and just a quick wipe down the mat should be all you need. All right, we're excited. Let's get started. Okay, you guys, we are going to be making these hanging hearts today. I thought they'd be a great gift for Mom for birthday, and since Mother's Day is coming up, I thought this might be a good one for them. Okay, so what you guys will need today is, you'll find in your kit a little heart template. You'll need your clay. You'll need your paintbrush, fork or your cutting tool, a sponge, and your slip. First thing I'm going to have you guys do is roll out some coils, and we're going to outline the outside of this heart. So you'll take your clay, you'll kind of squeeze it between your fingers, making a long snake here, and then we're going to place it on the mat. So remember, when you're rolling out coils, you start in the center and you roll to the outside. You start in the center and you roll to the outside. Just gently moving your fingers out to that outside. Nice, steady, and slow as you're going. If you go too fast, you'll kind of get a fat belly, so you just want to start in the center and move out. I'm going to have you guys just do half the heart. So you start here, wrap it around. You should get about half the heart. If it's too big, you guys can always cut it off. If it's too small, we're going to take it off and we'll roll it out just a little bit more till we get to the length that we need, and then put it back on again. You guys want this coil about the thickness of your thumb, because this is going to be our outside border, so we want to keep this coil pretty thick on the outside of the heart. So this first coil is pretty thick because that's our outside border to keep everything together for our decorative. So again, about the thickness of my thumb. I'm going to come here, and where they overlap, I'm going to score. Then I'm going to come in, and I'm going to slip just a little bit here, press down, move it all the way around, and I get down to the edge. I'm just going to score. Then I'm going to slip, coming to that nice point. Okay, now we're going to start filling in this heart. So you guys can see that at the end it's going to end up with a bunch of different coils is what we're doing, but it's a reverse, so we're really working on the back side first is what we're doing. So you guys will understand this in a second, but what we're doing is we're laying the coils on top of each other here and putting them into here. Then we'll smooth out this whole back. When we get done, flip it over, peel the paper off, and that's going to reveal our design. So again, I'm just going to squeeze this clay out and roll out a coil. These coils we want a little thinner, so we want about the size of our pinky. So I can take that in half because those are both pretty good sized coils. Then we're going to start on one end, and we're going to roll it up like a little snail. We're just rolling it right on top of each other. Rolling it up like a snail or a little cinnamon roll. All the way to the edge. Then I'm just going to have you take your finger and just kind of swipe it across there just to smooth that out. You're going to take the edge that has the coils on it, and you're going to place that face down onto our heart. Do you notice what I did right here? Instead of placing it in the middle, I overlapped. That's what's going to keep all that clay together. So I overlapped these edges onto this top piece of clay and gently kind of pushed it down. I'm going to take my next coil and same thing. I'm going to coil in, building that little snail shell, going in, running my finger across the top just to smooth it and to make it stay together. I'm going to come across here, and I'm going to overlap. So I'm overlapping onto the heart here, and I'm overlapping here. Now we're not slipping and scoring these because we're going to do a little technique at the end where we're going to press it all together. So it's against, usually you always have to slip and score, but we lose some of our texture and design on this, so I'm not going to have you guys slip and score this. That's why it's very important that you overlap each piece. So again, I'm coming in, rolling around. I'm just going to smooth just a little bit there. Pick it up gently, overlap, make sure it overlaps onto all corners, so it shouldn't go here, it should overlap all the way in. I'm getting to the end right here, you guys, so you can see that I have just a couple more spaces to fill. Like this one over here, I have a rather large space. So I'm just going to fill it with that coil, making sure that all edges overlap. We're coming in. Now over here, I just have a little piece, but I don't want to leave that because that will make my heart not very strong with those little holes. So I can just add a small coil. Here, remember, all these coils you want about the thickness of your pinky. And I can smooth that out, and I can just add just a little bit here and go. Now, when you finish this off, you're going to gently take your fingers and just kind of smooth it. So I don't want you guys to really dig into it. I just want you to kind of gently smooth this together. And it's going to take a little bit of time. It's just smooth and steady. You guys will take a piece of paper then. You're going to lay it on top of it, and you're just going to press down and smoothing with the paper too. You're going to press down. If it rips like that, that's okay. We'll get it off later. We'll just smooth it down and just kind of press onto it and press and make sure everything's nice and together. Now I'm just going to take this up, my second piece of paper, gently flip it over, peel it back, and it's going to reveal my heart. So we've got all the neat texture on this side now that's coming through. Now you guys can come and have a parent help you with this part, you guys. Take a pencil or the edge of your paintbrush and go down about an inch or so down. We're going to push it all the way through. We're going to push it all the way through so we can make sure that we can hang it. Make sure your initials are on here. You guys can kind of just lift that up and take your initials, or before you flipped it over, you guys could have put your initials on it too. Make sure your full initials are on here. Have a parent help you put those initials on there. Place it back down, and you've got your heart.